Welcome to the official Windows 8 channel. And today we're going to try to answer the question, is Windows 8 good or bad? Now I want you to know that this is my personal opinion, but I'll give you, some things to think about with the comments that I'll make. Most of the comments and most of the opinion here that I have is based upon two things. My usage of Windows 8. I've been using Windows 8 since it started, and even before, because I've used the preview versions. And it's going to be based upon, I'm a tech guy. I go to clients' homes, and I go to the average people homes every week. A lot of them now have Windows 8, more and more. And what's happening is that my opinion is based upon my own personal usage of Windows 8 and the opinions and the way I see people using Windows 8 in my clients. So, it's not just me, it's also what I see in the real world, which is, I think, the best way to give an opinion. So, is Windows 8 good or bad? I think it's a good operating system. Why is everybody telling everybody Windows 8 is really bad? It's another Vista. It has a lot to do, I think, with the fact that it's a new operating system with a new interface. That start screen scares everyone. And just look around you and you'll notice one thing, is that everybody that tells everybody Windows 8 is a bad operating system is actually not using Windows 8. And they never did. And they base their opinion only on somebody else's opinion. And it's pretty much what's happening right now. It's the fact that everybody's complaining about Windows 8. And so the people complaining to other people make the other people complain about it, and so on. So the bad publicity of Windows 8 is not really meant. I don't think it's worth it, because I think Windows 8 is actually a good operating system. But it is very different, and that scares a lot of people. So first of all, I would say not to listen to anyone that's not using it tell you how good or bad it is, because they just don't know what they're talking about. What makes Windows 8 probably scary for everyone is, of course, that start screen, the fact that it's made for a touch interface, and one of probably the worst Microsoft decisions they could possibly do. Microsoft made Windows 8 as a touch user interface. And when they shipped Windows 8, they were thinking, cool, people are going to buy touch laptops, tablets. That's how it's going to happen. Problem is, that's not what's going to happen. Actually, that's what not happened, and that's what's not happening right now either. Why? Because of a major problem, which is called price. When Windows 8 came out, you had the standard laptop, no touch, and the standard desktop, no touch, for $400, $500, $600. And you had the touch versions that were like $900, $1,000, more than $1,000. One of the key factors in people buying a computer is price. Very few people buy $1,000 laptops. Very few people. And that's where Microsoft probably did not think well its strategy with Windows 8. And the error they made and that's really the major error, they should have shipped Windows 8 with two types of possibilities. You have a touch device, then you'll be on the touch start screen. You have a mouse and keyboard. You have a regular laptop that is not a touch device. Then bring it to a desktop. Fortunately, there is a desktop, but unfortunately, it's not like a real desktop like you have in Windows 7. So I think that's probably most of the bad publicity of Windows 8. People got to a computer and said, whoa, what's this and what am I doing? I don't understand anything. Now with Windows 8.1, there was lots of fixes, and with the latest update one, a lot more fixes that makes things better. And we know that there should be probably in August an update that will bring a start menu like we had in Windows 7. I think they realized that for touch-oriented computers, it's a great idea to have that start screen, but they are now actually learning that if you don't have a touch-oriented device, a regular laptop or a desktop, it's better to put a desktop with a start menu like we had before, and so everybody's gonna be happy or so. The questions that I have the most often is Windows 8 the new Vista? No, it's not. Far from it. It is actually a good, fast operating system. It's not a problematic operating system. Vista was slow. Vista was really something that Microsoft made in probably made too quickly because they were kind of in a panic mode. And remember one thing, all of you out there using Windows 7 is Windows Vista. It's exactly Windows Vista, tweaked to be optimized to run faster. So people that use Windows 7 and say, oh, Vista was bad, well, you're in Vista, okay? You are in Vista. Windows 7 is Vista. It's just optimized to work better. Windows 8 is a new operating system. It has a new driver schematic. It has a new way of interacting. The drives also are now working with WinFS, stuff like that. Lots of new technology in Windows 8. One thing that comes to mind when I think of Windows 8 being hated so much is that people don't remember, but one of the most loved operating system, Windows XP, was actually hated so much in the first year. I remember a lot of people saying, I don't want to have this. I want to go back to Windows 98 or whatever. Not Millennium, because that was horrible. But people wanted to go back to Windows 98. And there was a lot of people that actually asked me back then to go back to Windows 98. And so people have a short memory. Now they say, hey, Windows XP was the best ever. Yeah, well, it was hated for the first year and a half. And it didn't sell that well, actually. But Windows XP was actually a very good operating system, and it was better because it was based on NT, which was a rock-solid operating system. And so it became one of the favorites. Now, one of the favorites these days, Windows 7. I do think Windows 7 is a great operating system. But don't be scared of going into the Windows 8 bandwagon if you want to buy a computer. One of the things that you can do if you have a non-touch device and want to be more like a Windows 7 is that there's our great software out there, one free called Classic Shell, one paid called Start 8. These are great pieces of software that actually transform your Windows 8 machine into a desktop with start menu operating system like you have in Windows 7. So you can transform Windows 8 to suit more of your abilities and what you want to have in an operating system. What do my clients think of Windows 8? And this is really where I'm a little surprised. Two types of clients I have with Windows 8. First of all, I got clients that call me up to set up that Windows 8 machine for the first use. And what I'll do is install Classic Shell. And their laptops will react more like a Windows 7 laptop, or a lot of them are actually coming from Windows XP. So, it looks more like an old operating system. There's a start menu and everything, a desktop. And, you still have that start screen available, and I show it to them that it's available. And when you actually start Windows 8 into a Classic Shell mode where it is reacting and looking more like an old Windows 7 or Windows XP, pretty much everybody's happy and says, wow, it's a great operating system, I love it. The other more surprising fact is that most people that call me up and been using Windows 8 for many months now and have not had the start, Classic Shell and stuff like that installed, and really used Windows 8 from scratch with the start screen and everything. I'm surprised at a lot of them saying, you know what? It was a little difficult at the beginning, but I actually like the tile interface and I actually like the way it works now that I'm used to it. So that's something that I was not expecting. I was expecting people, that have the computer for 6 months or a year and say, oh, really, you can put Classic Shell and I can have a desktop like before? No, actually, these people don't want to have any of that stuff. They want to continue using Windows 8 like it is with the tile interface. So it gives you an idea that when you sit down and use Windows 8, I have not had negatives of any clients on Windows 8. What I've had, the most comments I've had is it's kind of a little hard to understand the first few weeks that you use it. And it's normal because it's really different. But nobody tells me Windows 8 is no good once they have it and they use it. So don't forget that. That's the opinion of my clients. And I'd say that in all the clients that I've had, maybe 5% told me, can you take this out? I don't like it. I want to have Windows 7. And, about 5% of my clients, we, removed Windows 8. We backed it up so they ever want to go back and just install Windows 7 on their computers. But it isn't much more than about 5% of my clients. So it gives you an idea that for the most part, people are actually happy with the Windows 8 operating system. It doesn't crash, it doesn't have any problem, it doesn't hang. The other bad comments that I'll see about Windows 8 is the fact that a lot of people have old devices. They have that 10-year-old printer and that 10-year-old scanner and some awkward devices from many years ago. And they're kind of sad because they say, well, my printer doesn't work in Windows 8. My scanner doesn't work in Windows 8. And I'll just tell them, well, the problem is not Windows. If your 10-year-old HP printer doesn't work anymore, you have to tell HP that you're kind of pissed off at the fact that they didn't do any drivers for Windows 8, because the problem is HP, not Windows. They want to sell another printer. They don't want to do a driver and have pay someone to do a driver. And especially with printers that are like $100 or less now, they aren't going to work in 10 years with drivers. So unfortunately, that's part of going on with a new operating system. So all in all, it's a great operating system, and there are ways to customize it and use it. So don't be scared and make your own opinion with what you heard on this video. And you can take a look at other videos we have on the channel here. And a lot of comments. One of the videos that I have that has a lot of comments, I made one more than a year ago, I believe. It's called Windows 7 versus Windows 8, should you upgrade? And it's interesting to see all the hate comments there. And 8 comments from people that never used it and don't know what they're talking about. That's incredible. I mean, there's just so much stupid comments on the YouTube channels everywhere. And it's interesting to note that there are lots of positive comments on Windows 8 also in that video. And what's interesting is that the positive comments are from people that use it, and they actually tell you why they like it and why you should upgrade. And people that don't like it just say, you know what, I hate Windows 8. That's not a comment and that's not an opinion. I hate Windows 8 doesn't mean anything. I mean, and lots of really bad stuff, like Windows 8 is shit, or that's more of a stupid comment than a real comment. I'm sorry, but if you only have that to say, that's kind of stupid. And you can tell me, oh, I don't like Windows 8, I've got back to Windows 7 for this and this reason, and I'll respect all the comments, because I believe some people don't like it, and that's with everything in life. So my personal opinion, if you should buy a new computer, yes, go all the way to Windows 8. I don't think it's not that bad. And if you put things like Classic Shell, you'll actually have a great operating system that's really, really running like a desktop mode with Windows 7. And you'll have a fast operating system, crisp operating system. Lots of new stuff also coming to Windows 8. We have another update coming in August with apparently the return of the Real Start menu. So that's another thing that Microsoft understands, is that when we don't have a touch interface, I think a Start menu is something people want to have. And hopefully you will use this video, and don't hesitate to call someone or talk to someone that actually is using Windows 8. Don't talk to someone that never uses it and the only thing is going to say is, oh, you know what, Windows 8 is apparently a very bad operating system, it's a Vista. It's not. And people that say that don't even know why they say that. They can't even explain it. Talk to someone that is using it, and make your opinion based on what people using it will say, and not based upon whatever person saying whatever they say. There's a lot of urban legends in computers, and I see that all the time, every week when I go to my clients. So that's the opinion. It's my general opinion, and if you have any comments, questions, let us know. And of course, intelligent comments are welcome. And if you're using Windows 8, why not share with everyone if you like it or not? And if you are into buying a new computer, well, I hope this video helps you make your mind. And one last thing, I have a lot of comments about people saying, oh, you know what, Microsoft made a mistake, they're going to remove that start screen with tiles. Well, I can tell you one thing is, by the design of Windows 9, how it's coming up, that start screen is there to stay, and it's even going to be more and more present in Windows. So you better get used to it, because it's staying, and that's for sure. If you enjoy our videos, why not subscribe to our channel? You'll be informed when new videos are online. And if you have any comments, questions, maybe you have a feature of Windows 8 that you'd like us to talk about, let us know. We'll try to put that video online. And hopefully, you will come back to the official Windows 8 channel. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.